So today, I'm going to be making some liquid oxygen. Oxygen's normally a gas, but it can be turned into a liquid using liquid nitrogen. When the tube's really cold, I can start to shoot in some oxygen gas. I can't really see what's going on here, but after a few minutes, there should be a decent amount of liquid oxygen. Okay, so by now, it's probably good, and I can take it out. Liquid oxygen is faintly blue, but it's really hard to see here, so I'm gonna put it in a smaller tube. It's still a bit hard to see, but it is definitely blue. Now this is very dangerous, but what's fun to do is to throw a match into it. As a liquid, oxygen is an even more powerful oxidizer, and it can sometimes react explosively. After this, all that's left is just a small part of the match head. Earlier today, I made some liquid oxygen, and I used it to destroy a match, but I still had a bunch of it left over. So I decided to use the rest of it to burn some steel wool. I thought it was all going to disappear, but a lot of it didn't react. The reaction was also apparently hot enough to melt some of the iron. After this, I still had some oxygen left, so I just shot the rest of it onto a larger piece. This is something called crud cutter that I got from a hardware store, and it's apparently used to clean up things like spilled paint or oil. But what I think is cool about it is that it's nearly pure sodium polyacrylate. This is the same stuff that's used in baby diapers, and it's able to absorb a huge amount of water. It looks like only half of it was used, but it was apparently still able to absorb everything. What I'm left with is a dry powder, but it's actually mostly water. This is a giant container of methylantranolate, which is a really common grape flavor. It's a slightly yellow oil, and it's used to flavor a lot of things like candy or soda. It's most famously used to flavor grape Kool-Aid, but what I think is the coolest thing about it is what it does under UV light. It fluoresces a really nice blue color, and this is what happens when it's added to water. This is a bunch of magnesium metal. It's one of the lightest metals, and it's commonly used in a lot of things like cars and electronics. But what I think is really interesting about it is what happens when it's lit on fire. It burns with a blinding white light that singes your eyeballs. Once it's on fire, magnesium is notoriously hard to put out, and it can explode if you put water on it. It can also burn under sand and in CO2.